darlings, and happy Valentine's Day. So today, in the spirit of the Day of Love, I thought that it would be really fun if we went through some really funny and silly and old-fashioned vintage dating tips. So we obviously know that courting has changed quite a bit in the years gone by, and some of the tips that are given in the past are absolutely ridiculous and silly and definitely don't apply to our modern sensibilities. But I thought it would be really fun if we just went through a few of them so we can all have a little bit of a giggle. Okay, so do you remember the scene in Clueless, the 90s film based on Jane Austen's Emma, starring Alicia Silverstone, which is honestly one of my favourites, where Cher gets flowers and chocolates sent to herself, by herself, that will show up in class, that will make the boy she has a crush on think that she is very desirable. Well, believe it or not, there is actually a 1938 article in a magazine called Mademoiselle, where a senior Smith College student advised all of the freshmen the vital importance of cultivating an image of popularity in order to get dates. Listen to this. During your first term, get home talent to ply you with letters, telegrams, and invitations. College men will think, she must be attractive if she can rate all of that attention. She even suggests having your mum send you flowers and turning off your dorm room lights at night so no one will think you're home even if you don't have a date. Oh dear. So basically, lie to the world in order to make them think that you have a whole bunch of prospects. Okay, the next one. Have you ever touched up your makeup in the presence of a suitor? Well, that will just simply not do. A magazine called Click Parade says that you should always dress in your boudoir to keep your allure, meaning that you should not apply or touch up or check your makeup when you are around your date. So that's not checking your lipstick in the rearview mirror when he's driving, which to be honest is probably good practice. Don't distract anyone when they're driving anyways. Don't do it when you're at the restaurant table. Just slink away, you know, to powder your nose in the bathroom, and that's when you can check your makeup, not when you're in front of anyone, because you want to keep the mystery of how you look so beautiful alive. Click Parade is hitting us again with more great dating advice, telling you to avoid boring your date by talking about clothes or other specifically feminine interests, and to flatter your date by talking only about the things that he wants to talk about. So basically, don't talk about yourself, only talk about him. Which I personally think that a date should be an exchanging of relevant information and fun topics that you are both interested in, but that's just me. In the 1939 book How to Win and Hold a Husband, author Dorothy Dix says, "Don't talk too much, and above all, don't talk about yourself. Ever. Men have a horror of girls who babble on forever and ever like a brook. Men like to talk about themselves, and what they want is an intelligent listener." It further goes on to say that while you are on the dance floor, your lips should be sealed, because when men dance, they actually just want to dance, and they don't want to talk to you whilst they do it. Every time I film, I swear to God, my camera tries to die on me. Some really funny rules about dates from the 1950s is that a man always has to ask out the woman. Yes, these dating rules are very heteronormative, I'm aware, but that's just how things were. But yes, a man has to ask out a woman because only a floozy would dare to ask a man out herself, which, you know, sounds really, really boring to me. A man also has to pay for the entirety of your date. No splitting the bill to be fair and equal to both parties. No, he has to pay for the date. And it's more ladylike if the woman tells the man what she wants and he orders for her when they go out to eat. So if you are an incredibly picky eater, like myself, then Your date is going to have an excellent memory to be able to tell the waiter exactly what you want. And if he gets it wrong, I will be sending it back. You also, when a man asks you out, you have to say yes or no immediately. You can't take a couple of days to think about it. You have to give a yes or no, and it has to have a good reason if you say no. Apparently not being interested isn't really a good enough reason. Dorothy Dix is back with her How to Win and Hold a Husband excellent advice when she says, "A woman scares a man off when she decks herself out in what looks like $1 million worth of finery." So basically you can't be too overdressed because it will make him think that he can't afford to date you or that you are a try-hard. Dorothy Dix also says that you don't call a boy up over the telephone during business hours. He will hate you for it because you are jeopardizing his job. There is no surer way for a girl to make herself unpopular with men than to be a telephone hound. And to be fair, I do kind of agree with this one. So you shouldn't be pestering your significant other all day and all night, texting them and phoning them and getting antsy if they don't reply to your message within 5 minutes. Unless, you know, it's you've asked them to text you when they get home and it's been a while and you're getting a little bit worried, or you need an answer for something, then you can probably message them a little bit more. But in general, I would say keep the phone nagging to a bare minimum. And if they can't respond to you, they're probably just busy. Whilst today we tend to introduce our significant others to our parents when, you know, we're pretty sure that this is a really good partner that we're going to be with for quite a long time, in the 1950s you had to introduce every single date to your parents so they could approve or stop the date, basically. It was customary for girls to have the boyfriend come to their house and to introduce the date to their mother and father, and that means that the boy could make a good impression and then they could say, okay, have her back by 11:30 and all of that. And if they didn't like him, then you weren't going on the date, I'm afraid. How scary does that sound to have your parents have so much control over your dating life? Like, I'm sorry, they're dating me, not my parents. But really funny little fact for you on how that has changed throughout history, because now it's quite a serious thing to introduce someone to your parents, I feel. Whereas before it was just the thing you did with every single date. Really funny little piece of advice of dating that they gave was a little act of chivalry, which was that the man should always walk, when they were walking along on the pavement, the man should walk between his date and the road. So it should go like woman, man, curb, road, if that makes sense. So he was always between you and any oncoming danger. And that's quite funny because I remember that was something that my ex-boyfriend always used to insist on, was that he stood on the side of the pavement that was closest to the road, so just in case anything happened. So that's quite funny. There should be no kissing on the first date. None. Absolutely no lip contact. Men were expected to bring enough money to the relationship that the woman would never have to pay for anything. And just thinking about that like fills my heart with fear. Can you imagine dating someone and then being like, yeah, you're gonna have to pay for every single thing, like I'm not paying for anything at any point in our relationship? You would think they were just taking you for a ride, but this really was the social expectations of the time, and that is kind of sad, really. Men to be very, you know, financially the sole provider, and it encourages women to be financially dependent and not really have any independence of their own. So those are some of my really funny vintage dating tips and etiquette, and these range from sort of the 1930s to the 50s. So let me know which you were most surprised by. Do you think I got any wrong? Have you heard differently from family members or from articles? Then please let me know down in the comments. These are just things that I found and confirmed on the internet. So, you know, everyone's experience back then might have been slightly different, but as a rule, these were some of the common etiquettes of dating and courting. Happy Valentine's Day again. I hope that you are having a wonderful day and that you are practicing the art of self-love and self-care. And if you have a romantic partner, then I hope that you are both treating each other to a lot of love. All of my heart goes out to my long distance romantic partners right now. I know that's a big thing because of COVID, and I hope that you can be together in person again soon. And to all of my single Pringles out there like me, then I'm sending you all of the love and Valentine's kisses in the world. And remember that you don't need a romantic relationship to be fulfilled and to be a complete person. You are absolutely wonderful and more than enough just as you are. And on Valentine's Day, I think we should celebrate all of the different kinds of love in our lives. So this goes out to all of the siblings, family members, friends, found family, service workers who are really, really sweet to people, and everyone who provides things for us every single day. So happy Valentine's. I love you all so very much. Remember to have courage and be kind, and may all of your dreams come true. And I will see you in my next video. Bye! Can you imagine trying to like do a massive order substitution? Like, okay, I want this but with chicken wings, but I want the wings as a side dish, and I want them to come out with the starters, and then I want a burger but with this sauce instead of this sauce, and no onions, and none of this, and can I swap this for this? And then your date just has to like repeat it back. And are you allowed to correct them? I bet you're not. If they get it wrong, I bet you're not allowed to correct them, because that would be seen as like emasculation. So, oh my goodness, who went out to eat? Who went on dates? Who dates? I've not been on a date in so long. Ruddy COVID.